Hi everyone. In this video, I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the factor label method. This is a terrific method to use if you're going to be doing more than one conversion. So for example, say you wanted to go from yards to inches to centimeters. You can avoid having to do two different proportions and just make one nice long line of canceling out units using this method. I'm just going to keep it simple and just say that we're trying to convert between two units. In this case, they're going to be those American units, the imperial units like feet and inches or pounds and ounces. And this is the opposite way of doing the proportion method. So if you already like the proportion method, I don't recommend learning this method. But if that one you're not a big fan of, or you're confident that you could be exposed to this one and choose a favorite, then feel free to keep on watching. Here's how this one works. In the problem, you're going to be given some piece of information. Let's say, what was it in our last video? It was how many inches are in 5.5 feet. So this is the unit we don't want anymore. So we're going to call that unit number 1. And this is the unit we do want. So this is going to be unit number 2. And the way this one works, you always start with the number and the unit that you don't want anymore. So the one that was given in the problem. And in that case, it would be starting with 5.5 feet. Then you do times and a line. Times and a line. Here is where we're going to use what's known as a conversion factor. A conversion factor is going to be my gateway to get from the unit I don't want anymore to the new unit that I do want. And I have to make sure that these two guys, so the units and the numbers with them, have to be equal to each other. So I know that 1 foot is the same as 12 inches. They equal each other. There's 2 ways of writing it when you're using the factor label method. You can write it as 1 foot over 12 inches, or you can write it as 12 inches over 1 foot. How do you know which one to use? With the factor label method, you choose the form that puts the unit you don't want on the bottom. Okay, well, I'm going to take this unit that I don't want, and I'm going to put them down on the bottom. The unit I do want, I'm going to put on top. And this is how I typically do it. I start with just the units because the numbers kind of freak me out. So I'll start with the letters first and then go back in and plug in numbers. What's happening here? Well, we multiply across the top. And we divide by numbers on the bottom. The cool thing also is if 5 divided by 5 is equal to 1, feet divided by feet is also equal to 1. It cancels out. So by putting feet to start with that I don't want anymore, and then immediately copying it down here on the bottom of my conversion factor, I'm in essence saying feet divided by feet. And people will do that. They'll actually go boom, boom. Okay, I say the boom, boom part. I'm not sure what they say. Yeah, yeah. And then it leaves the unit they do want on top. Okay, so what number shall we put in here? I know that 1 foot, is the same as 12 inches. So this is going to be the same as 5.5 times 12. And then I would be dividing by 1, except that I don't need to put that in my calculator. It won't change the answer. But if this was something other than 1, then I would divide by whatever number that was. I multiply across the top. I divide by anybody on the bottom. And so this will be 66. The inches is still there, so 66 inches. Go ahead and try it again with question number 2. I'll leave this here. You can always go back and recopy, or rewind rather, and recopy. The second question is, how many, what was it? How many feet are equal to 88 inches? You can't see what I'm doing. How many feet are equal to 88 inches? Same idea as what we did last time. Only this time, I'm starting here with inches. Do times in a line, and without worrying about words, numbers, I'm going to take this unit and put it down here. It's a game. It's a canceling out game. That got rid of my inches. What unit do I want to go into? I have lots of options at this point. I could go into yards or centimeters, or in this case, I want to go into feet. The inches can go boom, boom, and they're gone. And our final answer will be left as feet. Okay, numbers. Well, we know, because you must have memorized, that 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. In this scenario, I'm going to put the 12 on the bottom. You see, there's a rule. You have to stick your number to its unit. Stick it to the unit. Stick it to the unit. Okay? So, sorry, that was back when drop it like it's hot, drop it like it's hot. Yeah, I changed it to stick it to the unit. So, here we go. The 1 must stay next to feet. The 12 must stay next to inches. All right. What do we have going on this time? Should put that, how about here? Multiply across the top, so that'd be 88. If it wasn't a 1, I would multiply by the 1, and then I divide by the 12 that's on the bottom. And we found out that 88 divided by 12 was it was 7 1/3 feet. So 7.33, which we said was 7 1/3. And then you can do those other 2 questions again. So question number 3 will be how many ounces are in 2.2 pounds? Go ahead and pause the recording and give this one a try. Start with the number in the unit that you don't want anymore, times in a line, put the unit you don't want on the bottom so it'll cancel out, and the guy you do on top. Then multiply the numbers on top and divide by the unit on the bottom. So I'm going to start with 2.2 pounds. Times in a line. I'm going to put pounds on the bottom to get rid of it. And it wants ounces, so I'll put ounces on top. The pounds, boom, boom, those are gone. and I'm left with the ounces that I need for my final answer. This could continue. We could do times in a line and get rid of ounces and get into a whole nother unit. That's what's really nice about this method. It can be very elegant way of converting through multiple steps to get to a final unit to answer. All right, we know that there are 16 ounces is equivalent to 1 pound. So for this one, I'm going to do 2.2 times 16, and I don't need to divide by 1, but I would if it was something other than 1. And we said this equaled 35.2 ounces. And then the final question to try, how many pounds? Are equal to 43.5 ounces. And if this is the first video you've watched from me, then 43.5 is the number you should work with when you do the calculations. We can always convert it back into a fraction, our decimal to a fraction at the end. And the nice thing is, most of the decimals we see will be familiar, such as 0.33 being the same as 1/3. And I will be teaching a technique if the final answer is not a recognizable fraction or a recognizable decimal. There's still a way to find the answer pretty quickly using the advantage of it being a multiple choice test. Okay, so go ahead and give this one a shot. Okay, I'm going to start with the number and unit I don't want anymore, 43.5 ounces. And times in a line. I'm going to put that ounces on the bottom, and I'm going to put the pounds on top. Boom, boom, those ounces are out of here. And I know that 1 pound is the same as 16 ounces. So I'll be left with 43.5 times 1, and then I divide by the number on the bottom, 16. 43.5 divided by 16 is, that equals 2.71875. Or last time we said it would be 2.7, because I'm not teaching about rounding at the moment, 2.7 pounds. And that's where we'll stop for this one. Pick one and stick to it, because again, you'll confuse yourself if you try to do this and the proportions method. Thanks for watching.